Kunti Devi is quite aware that the existence of the Pandava is due to Sri Krishna only. The Pandavas are undoubtedly well established in name and fame and are guided by the great king Yudhishthira, who is morality personified. And the Yadus are undoubtedly great allies. But without the guidance of Lord Krishna, all of them are non-entities. As much as the senses of the body are useless without the guidance of consciousness. No one should be proud of his prestige, power, fame, without being guided by the favor of the Supreme Lord. The living beings are always dependent, and the ultimate dependable object is the Lord Himself. We may, therefore, invent by our advancement of material knowledge all sorts of counteracting material resources, but without being guided by the Lord, all such inventions end in fiasco, however strong and stout the reactionary elements may be. So, this part of Bhagavatam, we are reading the prayers of Queen Kunti Maharani, very exalted devotee, a pure devotee of Lord Sri Krishna. And we have been reading in the almost coming to the end of this our prayers. So this actually, if you see, is in continuation with the previous Sunday's class also. There it is said, "O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself." So we may do a lot of activities in this world. It is actually the Lord who is executing all these things. That's what Kunti Maharani is offering here. "O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today?" Because she was leaving Hastinapur, and Krishna was leaving Hastinapur after establishing Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he was going to Dwaraka. At that time, Kunti Maharani stops Lord Sri Krishna, and that is the time she is offering these prayers. So he is saying here, "Are you leaving us today, though we are completely dependent on your mercy?" So pure devotee is always dependent on the mercy of the Lord actually. They may be doing great things, but they know it is by the mercy of the Lord they are able to accomplish big things. So, and we have no one else to protect us. So generally we think in this world, if we are well situated, we have good friends, relative, good bank balance, good house, good insurance, I think we all tend to think that we are all safe, we are all protected. Actually, these are all nothing. Within a fraction of a moment, anything can happen. So, she is offering this, no one else to protect us. Now, when all kings are at enmity with us, because after the battlefield of Kurukshetra, a lot of soldiers were killed from both the sides. And now, they were big fighters, Arjuna, Bhima, Yudhishthira, all the 5 Pandavas, they are very powerful fighters. But because Krishna was with them, actually they became victorious. We know how Krishna, being related to both the party, Kauravas and the Pandavas, he offered himself. Correct? And Arjuna chose Krishna to be on his side. Whereas Duryodhana wanted Krishna's army, huge army. So this is the calculation of a devotee and a non-devotee actually. So the Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra's calculation, we have a lot of armies. There are only 5 devotees, 5 Pandavas. We can easily smash them. But that is not true. That's why after hearing all, we know in the Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra is conducted by Sanjaya. And Sanjaya at the last verse he says, Yatyogeshwara Krishno Yatapartho Dhanuddhara. Wherever Krishna is there and Arjuna is there, Partha, great archer, there will be victory, opulence, everything. So this is the point actually. So Kunti Devi is totally, this is the position of a pure devotee. They are always totally dependent on the Lord and they are always seeking the protection of the Lord. They are not thinking that, oh, we have got a lot of power, we have got big. Kunti Devi's all 5 sons were very powerful for that matter. But she felt no, it's all because of the presence of Lord Sri Krishna. So Prabhupada said, this is applicable not only for the Pandavas, actually it's applicable for all of us actually. Everybody is bestowed with some intelligence, some beauty, some wealth, whatever we have in this world. It's all given by Lord. And if we have this, and you think if somebody becomes proud about this, then actually he is not considering the Lord's position. Lord is the one who is bestower of everything. Then actually we are not properly situated. So Prabhupada says, so this Kunti Mata, this is one of the guidelines of surrender which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also demonstrated, which taught us actually. Because Krishna is demanding in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared 500 years before, he practically demonstrated what is the meaning of surrender. So he gave some 6 guidelines, very important actually. All of our Krishna conscious philosophy is there in that. So one of the principle is we should always seek the protection of the Lord. Whosoever we are actually, we may be very great according to the calculation of the mundane person, materialist, but we should always depend on the mercy of the Lord. Because we are doing some activity, correct? In this world we are interacting, we are speaking, because the senses are there. The moment, that's what this verse also says. Today's verse it says, as the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit. Correct? Big thing. Prime ministers or the presidents of countries are there. The moment the spirit soul leaves the body, it actually is useless. Maybe some people we know famous a couple of months before, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu passed away. Correct? Now also there is a turmoil in Tamil Nadu state. Who will be the next CM? She was so powerful. And lakhs of people assembled there to see her last sight. And it was kept in this Marina Beach and all these things. But they see that, and once ritual is performed, that's finished actually. That body is gone, dead and gone. Where is she now? So this is the position of the living entity. So here Kunti Devi is saying, as the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit. Similarly, if you do not look upon us, so if God does not look upon us, if God does not see us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will all end at once. So that is the point she is making in today's verse also. So we should always remember that Lord is the only protector, He is the only maintainer. When we are in this world, we have to make certain arrangement. We can't be careless. We can't think that, okay, everything Lord will take care. It doesn't work like that. We have to do our bit. We have to make whatever arrangement is required to be made. But we should always depend ultimately on the Supreme Lord. That is what actually the pure devotees are teaching us actually. They are always, just like in Prabhupada's life also. Prabhupada, when he went to America, he didn't know what he is going to do. But he had a strong faith in Lord's holy name and the instruction of his spiritual master, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. We all know, we are all familiar with that poem, what Prabhupada wrote 2 poems. Amazing humility actually. So he's saying, Lord, you are taking me to a foreign country, I don't know their culture, I don't know how they will accept. I'm just a puppet in your hand. If you want me to be a success, it is in your hand. Prabhupada never thought, okay, he has practiced so long, devotional service, now that he was in Vrindavan, he was writing books, he can do... No, Prabhupada, a pure devotee, they are all teaching us actually. And Acharya, when they come to this world, they teach us actually. A neophyte devotee is like us. Otherwise, we can be carried away by the illusory energy. We can concoct ourselves, we are very advanced, we are very spiritually advanced, I have a direct connection with Krishna, all these things. Sometimes out of sentiment people come this, correct? Why you have to go to a guru? I can approach Krishna directly. No, it doesn't work like that. Even in this material world also, if you have to, Prabhupada gave example, if you want to meet a big person like a chief minister or a minister, you can't just walk into his chamber like that. There is a protocol, there is an office, chief minister's office is there. You have to go, take an appointment. Then if you have to wait for many months because they will all be very busy. Then if you get a chance, you go and meet. So it's like that. But out of not properly situated in spiritual consciousness, somebody, a neophyte, a beginner may think that, no, I am advanced. I don't need all these rules and regulation. No, then actually we are not properly situated in our spiritual life. That's why these acharyas, they come, they are teaching us. So, Prabhupada said, without Krishna, we are always unsafe. Our life is in dangerous position every moment. Bhagavatam also says, Padam padam yad vipadam natesham. At every step there is danger actually. So we have to depend on Lord. Or somebody may say, what is this Lord? I am very smart, I can manage all these things. Okay, you can go on like that because we have got that freedom. Krishna has given that little freedom to us, free will to us. But finally we have to surrender. If you are not surrendering when you are living, Prabhupada says when we die, we have to surrender to Lord. Then you can't do anything actually. You may be a very big guy, you are carried away by 4 people, 6 people like that. Mrityu sarva harachaham. If somebody don't surrender to me when they are living, Krishna says, I'll come in the form of death and I'll take away everything, not to our liking. Everything is taken away. So these are the reality we should understand. So, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says that if somebody tries to become a devotee, he is telling Arjuna to declare, Kaunteya pratijanei name bhakta pranashyati. Declare it Arjuna boldly that my devotee will never be perished, will never be vanquished. So Krishna is giving us this assurance in the Bhagavad Gita. So when we take to this process, when we read these prayers of a great devotee like Kunti Maharani, actually we should become fixed in our devotional service, and this devotional knowledge should be backed with these great devotees actually. We should not try to understand ourselves. It doesn't work like that actually. For that matter, even material knowledge, there is a process. That's why big university, colleges, all these things are there. Why? There is a process. If you want to learn certain things, you have to go through this process. Same thing apply in the spiritual world. That's why it is said, Mahajana enagata sapantaha. We have to follow the footprints of the great devotees of the Lord. So Prabhupada said these Pandavas, they are all great Mahajanas. They are all teaching us how we should be always engaged in service of the Lord and how we should always seek their protection, and we should know that their Lord is our only maintainer. Like that, there are 6 principles. So one is protection, and He is the maintainer. Lord is our real maintainer. Maybe immediately we have some arrangement, we have a father is maintaining us, society is maintaining us, we may think all these things. But ultimate maintainer is the Supreme Lord. That is what is taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here it is said, that's why this in the beginning it is said here, Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam. Nama is name, Rupa is form. So we are living, when we are living, our activities are glorified. Or when we do a lot of activities in this world, our activities are glorified because of the presence of that spirit soul. So this is the ABCD knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, spiritual understanding, Prabhupada says. We should know that we are all that spirit soul, we are Atma, and this Atma, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. We are all Amsha of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and we are all part and parcel of Krishna. We are glorious. But because we are engaged in this body, we are not feeling that. We are not able to sense that. So, just like this energy, we have this body, we have this soul. Soul, Atma's energy is there. So, Krishna and Krishna's energy, actually it's non-different. Anything connected with Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and Himself, is non-different. Is the absolute truth. That's why in the first verse of the Bhagavatam it is said, differentiate from all other living entity, that is his real position. When we talk of energy, see, just like this electricity is going on now, we are able to use tube light and other bulb because electricity is going on. But a person who is in ignorance, he doesn't know how this functions. But a person who is in knowledge, he knows there is a powerhouse. Powerhouse only is not sufficient. What is more important than powerhouse? Is the engineer or a person behind the powerhouse who is generating this electricity. So there is a science here. But ignorant person may think, oh, okay, light is there, light. So when we talk of energy, there is energetic person. Similarly, when we talk of energy of God, the energetic is actually Krishna is the origin of everything. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse in the scripture, they say, Shakti, Shaktimator Abhedaha. There's no difference between Krishna and Krishna's energy. Shakti, Shaktimator Abhedaha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also coined this philosophy, Achintya, Beda, Abheda Tattva. That is, we are one with God in one sense, qualitatively. But quantitatively, Lord is very great, very supreme. He is Vibho. We are all Anu Atma. We are all very small, tiny. Prabhupada also says, we are all like, we can say we are, people say we are God. We are not God actually. We are tiny God, we can say. Because we are part and parcel of God. Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Eternally we are all part and parcel Amsha of God. So we are also minute, tiny God. But we are not the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is only one. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He is the cause of all causes. Everybody is caused, correct? See, we have our parents. Our parents, what is the cause of our parent? Their parents. Like that, if you trace back, you can go up to Lord Brahma. We all know Lord Brahma is the first living entity in this material universe. And he was created by Lord. He was born out of Lord's abdomen actually. Vishnu. So, what is the cause? In fact, in the second canto of the Bhagavatam, we'll read, Brahma himself says, though I am the creator, I am creating wonderful thing. All the progeny happened through Brahma only. But Brahma was also created by Lord Vishnu actually. So this is the correct understanding. So Prabhupada says, we are trying to study the sun, in that same example of sun, sunshine and sun god. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavam ahuvayam. Vivasvan manave praha manur ishvake bravid. So, there is sun god. We are getting sunshine now. Slowly its sun is rising in the morning. There is a sunshine, there is sun planet, and there is sun god. And his name is Vivasvan. That is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So scriptures, if you see, everything will be there actually like that. So, and we are thinking we are very advanced today, scientifically, and we are trying to understand the sun sitting here. And Prabhupada says sun is some 93 millions of miles away from this earthly planet. We are seeing a small something, a ball there. And it's a big, huge planet. It's a fairy planet. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhumi apo analo vayo kammanor buddhi evacha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. These are his 8 separated energy. So in the earthly, in this world, in this material world, predominantly we are made of earthly element. Similarly, if you have to go there, you should have a fiery body. Your body will predominantly made of fire. We don't have understanding of all these things. That's why we say, even the people went to moon, it's a big, they themselves, the scientists are coming with a lot of controversy now, and they're clarifying so many things now, which was very prominent 50 years before when Prabhupada was just going to America. Prabhupada boldly from the scripture he said, no, these people have not gone to moon planet. See what a conviction Prabhupada had. He's speaking from the scriptures. But we can go there. There is a process also given in the Bhagavad Gita also. In the Vedic literature there are process. Yanti deva vrita deva pitru yanti pitruvita. Bhutani yanti yanteja madhyajino api mam. You can go to different planet, but you have to follow some rules and regulation. Prabhupada gave a very simple example to understand this. Just like people are thronging to go to America nowadays. Now with the Trump HIB policy or visa policy, everybody is, nobody knows what is going to happen. They are all waiting and watching what is going to happen. There are a lot of statistics we are reading in the media and newspaper, correct? Maybe, I think, 20% of the students in America, they are all actually Indians. So many things are there. But this new president is very stubborn. He is making a lot of hardship. He wants to promote the local people taking up job, all these things. So if you want to go to America, there are a lot of rules and regulation. You have to go, first thing you have to get a visa. You have to make a passport. You have to go to you have to apply for a interview. You will get a day. You have to go attend the interview. If you pass those interview, you will be given that visa. Then you have to book a ticket. You should have some dollars to show where you are going to stay. All these things you have to mention. Then if you are having all these valid things, maybe we can go to America. So to go to another country, you have to follow a lot of rules and regulation. If you want to go to different planet altogether, just imagine. It's not possible, just you can let that. Prabhupada used to challenge them. And Prabhupada says here that you want to study sun, which is 93 million miles away. So what is, if you want to study, you really go there, then you can understand more. They are also living entities, there are also a lot of activities going on. Because Krishna also says, Sarvagataha in the Bhagavad Gita. This soul, this Atma, is prevalent everywhere, in all the planet. Krishna is not speaking Bhagavad Gita about only this. He is speaking of material world, he is speaking of spiritual world, everything. So this is how we should understand. So we go on, Prabhupada in another place he says, we speculate about God. Because we understand from the Vedic literature, these are all the Sanatana Dharma, it is ever existing. These Vedic literatures are, though it was recorded 5,000 years before by Vyasadeva, this messages is always there. That means Lord should be very old. God will be an old person like that. So somebody will go on speculating like this. So God is not, He doesn't become old. He is Nava Yauvanam Cha. He is always young, youth, fresh. In the Brahma Samhita, Brahma is offering this prayer. Nava Yauvanam Cha. That is God's position. That's why you don't see a picture of Krishna with the old man, with a white bird, white grey hair and all these things. He is always young. That is the difference between God and us. Lord is not forced by law of karma. Actually, we are forced to take birth in this world according to our desires and our activities in the previous life. And we undergo all these 6 changes. But Lord is always young actually. That is Lord's position. That's why Krishna is very attractive, he is very beautiful. So, Krishna also says, so we go on speculating about God, that means he is very old, all these things. So Krishna now and then he comes, that also according to scheduled timing, Lord appears in this material world, he incarnates. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. And he has got 2 functions, paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkrita. So to give protection to the devotees and to vanquish the non-devotees, he comes to this material world. Otherwise, Lord has nothing to do in this material world actually. He is always, though it is also said in the scripture, though he is coming here, he is playing this pastime, but his Nitya Leela goes on in the spiritual world actually. So these things we cannot conceive with our present understanding, with our present knowledge. That's why we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master, and through him we can know about the signs of God, about the spiritual world, what are the activities going on in the spiritual world actually. Otherwise, and Prabhupada also says, when Krishna comes, he is living this message in the form of Bhagavad Gita. He performs so many leelas in Vrindavana, so that he lives and he gives a lot of instruction with these pastimes actually. So that is the purpose. Krishna comes, or Krishna's representative come, and they also carry on the same activity. But a common man, a foolish person, cannot understand this. That's why Krishna says in the 9th chapter, Avajananti ma muda manusim tanumashrita. Param bhava ajananto mama bhuta maheshwara. Fools deride me. Krishna is using that word, muda. When I descend in the human form of life, they consider me to be like ordinary. He is not an ordinary, he is extraordinary, not even extraordinary, he is God himself actually. So that we understand from the scriptures how this material nature is working, and all this separated energy. Krishna is speaking in the 7th chapter. Then in the 9th chapter, Krishna says, in the 10th chapter, Krishna says that Maya dakshene prakriti suyate se characharam. Under my superintendence, this material nature is working. This also we always come across, correct? Oh, what is that? Sun is rising automatically. It's rising automatically, but there is some energy there. There is some person behind that. That foolish person, mundane person cannot understand. That's why I talk, everything is happening by nature. No, seasons are changing. Different season, different fruit, different flowers comes about. We don't have any control about all these things. Though today they are all creating all artificial things and all. But still, if you want any natural, it's all according to the cycle, according to the plan of the Lord. So nature, very systematically it works. So, like a machine, correct, in the factory and all the production happen, machine goes through a certain process and production comes out. the end product comes about. So it's very systematic there. There are workers, there are foremen, there are supervisor, there are manager, all these things, they have to see that end result come. So similarly, anything happening in this world, we should not take that it's just happening, what is there, I will do whatever. No. Then we are all not responsible actually. We are getting so much from the nature, material nature. What we are doing to pay back? Prabhupada says, gives this example, just like we are using the sunlight. Correct? Now it is because dark little we have put here. When the sun is very scorching heat at 12 o'clock, you don't need tube light and all at home, correct? But we are not paying any electricity bill to sun god or sunlight, nothing like that actually. But if you don't pay electricity bill here, the electricity board will come and cut our connection. So we take so many things from the Lord. Actually, it is in the human form of life, we should feel grateful, we should have gratitude towards the Lord. So, here Kunti Maharani is saying that otherwise, because you are there, actually, otherwise it's all useless. The Prabhupada says, so motion giver is Krishna. Krishna, just like that example Prabhupada gave of a train. You see some express train and all, it goes, it has 25 bogies and all. The last bogie is pulled by the previous bogie. There's a mechanical engineering there, there's a lot of technology there, correct? So like that, 20th bogie is carried by the 90th, pulled by the 19th bogie. Like that if you go, there's a bogie, there's a first bogie, then there's an engine, and there is a driver there. So if somebody asks, who is pulling that engine, it is not a relevant question, because the engine is designed in such a, it is invented in such a way, it has got that pulling power, it pulls all the other 20 or 25 bogies. Similarly, Sarva Karana Karanam is only Krishna. He is the cause of all causes. So here Kunti Maharani is saying, Pandavas became famous because Krishna, we know how he was very close. All these 5 Pandavas, they were very devoted, and particularly Arjuna was related with Krishna in Sakya Rasa, in friendship, and he became victorious. It is only because Krishna was present. So this verse says, translation today, as the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit. Similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, they became so famous, correct? Yudhishthira Maharaj became the ruler of the entire universe. That was Krishna's mission when he appeared 5,000 years before. Why? Because they were all God conscious, they were all Krishna conscious, pious devotees of the Lord. So that was the mission of Krishna, to establish the Yudhishthira Maharaj, and it is mentioned in the purport also today that the Pandavas are undoubtedly well established in name and fame and are guided by great King Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira, he didn't have any enemy, Ajata Shatru, and he was ruling so nicely, everything was in abundance. All these things we'll read in Bhagavatam actually. Was morality personified. Yudhishthira Maharaj, very moral actually. And the Yadus are undoubtedly great allies, but without guidance of Lord Krishna, all of them are non-entities. So Kunti Devi, a pure devotee, she is able to recognize all these things are possible because of Krishna. Otherwise, actually, we know how, we read in the earlier verses also, this Yadu dynasty became famous. Why Yadu dynasty became famous? Because Krishna appeared in the Yadu dynasty. We read that verse. What is that verse connected with Kunti Maharani's prayer? Just like something is grown somewhere, Malay Seva Chandanam. Just like the sandalwood used to grow in Malaysia, now the present Malaysia area. The sandalwood can grow anywhere. But because it used to grow there, it was called as Malaysia sandalwood. Sandalwood can go anywhere. So similarly, when Krishna appeared, the Edu dynasty were glorified. The Yadavas were glorified actually. So people do not understand this. They become very pride, they become puffed up, and they say, I have achieved this country has achieved this, I'm American, I'm European. Always these fights and all are going on between the powerful nations, correct? Because they are thinking that we had, actually Prabhupada uses the word, a bogus name and fame, that's all. Just make Krishna minus or no Krishna consciousness, everything will be finished. So Prabhupada says these are all bogus. Name, fame, form, without Krishna. As the senses are useless without the presence of the spirit soul. So there's a verse, very instructive verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila. Prabhupada quotes very often. Bhagavad Bhakti Inasya Jati Shastram Japastapaha Apranasya Deyasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. For a person devoid of devotional service, birth in great family or nation, knowledge of the revealed scripture, performance of austerities and penance, and chanting of Vedic mantras are like ornaments on a dead body. Apranasya deyasya. See, same funda here also. Apranasya, which is dead. Deyasya, body. Mandanam, decoration. They are all decoration of a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasure of the general populace. So Prabhupada says, just like you see some poor people, particularly in the low community, Shudra and others, when they die, the death they make it very glorified, and they put some new dress, some jewelry, some crackers, all these things. Actually the body is dead and gone is gone. The soul already is transmigrated, it may enter some other body by them. But these people, they do that, so it gives some concocted pleasure, it is said here. So you may be a person devoid of bhakti or devotional service. You may be born in a very good family, great family, or or nation, or knowledge of the real scripture. You may be a scholarly person. Performance of austerities and penance. You may do a lot of tapasya. Voluntary inconvenience you may take. You may be a good chanter of mantras. But all these things are like ornaments, are like decoration of ornaments on a dead body. So we should remember always this. Without devotional service or bhakti, actually all these have no value. Again, this principle is brought out in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam actually. So, Bhavata, in today's verse it is mentioned, Bhavata Adarshanam. Krishna was going away, he is parting away, he is taking farewell. So, Kunti Maharani is lamenting actually. He is regretting. Krishna, please be with us. Why you are going away? There's a nice Krishna painting. Our ISKCON painting also is there. Kunti is requesting to. So Kunti is Krishna's aunt, we know. But still, earlier prayers we read. But she knows Krishna is not an ordinary nephew. He is the supreme personality of God. So he is requesting, and in next verses we'll read that after all these prayers, actually Krishna smiles and say, yeah, I wonder. It's truth actually. It's so, a pure devotee when they are offering prayers, it's not out of some sentiment or some flattering somebody, correct? In this world it happens like that. We want to flatter somebody because it gives joy to him. No, what Kunti Devi is referring is all perfect understanding of the Supreme Lord. So after 6-7 verses, our prayers are there, then Krishna smiles. There's a verse it says. So, and here, Rishikana Iveshitu, senses without Krishna has no value. Therefore, we have to engage in devotional service. Prabhupada gave an example. Just like if you are using somebody's property, just like I am staying in a rented house. If I am staying in a rented house, I should always be conscious. There is an owner of this house. There is an agreement, rental agreement, and I have to follow all these things. Not that you act as if you are the owner of the apartment or the house. No, you are just on a rental basis. That is understanding. So similarly, we have to use our property, our senses, for the purpose of satisfying the senses of the Lord. That is the meaning of Rishikesha, and here it is mentioned. Rishikanam means of the senses. Rishikesha means of the master of the senses. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam. We have to give up all designation and we have to engage all our senses in the service of the master of senses. That is actually devotional service. So today, and now we have got this human form of life. That's why we should contemplate on all these things. And just like Kunti is feeling the separation of Lord Sri Krishna, even when Krishna used to go daily, when he was performing his Leela in the Vrindavan, all these Vrajavasis, all the Gopas, Gopis, they always used to feel the separation of Krishna. Krishna, small boy, is taking the cows and herding the cows and going with his friend. They were anxiously waiting when Krishna is going to come back. Oh, he should not hurt his feet. Correct? When we are gone to Vrindavan, we have seen a lot of pebbles, everything will be there. It was a forest those days, actually 5,000 years before. You just imagine. So they were always in the thought of Krishna. They are always thinking of Krishna. Even when Krishna was not present in front of them, they are thinking in separation. This is also a very exalted topic which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. It's a Vipralamba Seva. More than meeting the Lord, if you see from other angle, actually, when you feel the separation of the Lord, your actually devotion or bhakti even increases. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also taught this. That's why he took this role as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came in the form of a devotee. So, in Kali Yuga, we are all fortunate, though Lord is not physically present like that 5,000 years before, but Lord has made his arrangement in the form of holy name, in the form of deities in the temple, deities which are all established, following the rules and regulation of the Prana Pratishta. So when the deity is installed, following all those rules, actually Lord is physically present there. So we are all very fortunate. Though we are not qualified, out of sheer compassion, Lord has made this arrangement. And particularly in Kali Yuga, Kali Kale, Krishna, Nama Rupa Avatara. Krishna has come in the form of holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, just by chanting this Krishna's name, just by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we can feel the presence of Krishna even today. And eternally we can feel this actually. Because Krishna and Krishna's name is non-different. Abhinnatvam nama namino. Nama Chintamani Krishnastu Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. This Nama Chintamani, it's like a touchstone. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, it's full of consciousness. Purna Shuddha, it is pure. Nitya Mukta, it is eternally liberated. Abhinnatvam nama namino. There is no difference between Lord and Lord's holy name. Lord and deity in the temple. Lord and Lord's prasadam. Anything connected with Krishna, anything connected with Lord is non-different. So we can touch Lord throughout the day. So these Acharyas, Prahlad Maharaj also taught us that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, the Navavida Bhakti, what we are doing. So Prabhupada has introduced these things in our day-to-day life, right from morning 4 o'clock, Prabhupada says, right from morning 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the night, you can be engaged in one way or the other in devotional service. We can be chanting, we can be worshipping, we can be remembering, we can be offering prayers like Kunti Maharani is offering prayer. In the beginning stage, in the neophyte stage, it is recommended that we repeat the prayers of these pure devotees. Instead of, we can also, based on the philosophical proper understanding, we can also write some prayer. But it is advisable that we repeat these prayers, because these are not ordinary prayers. So it's very powerful. Just by repeating this prayer, just by memorizing few verses of Bhagavad Gita and chanting on a daily basis, actually we'll come in touch with the Lord. Because of our present condition, we may not be able to realize this. But doing this day after day after day, actually we will get spiritualized. So, Bhagavatam also, Krishna in many places in Bhagavad Gita also, he says, Manmana bhav bhakto madhyaji ma namaskura. The same verse, first two lines is appearing in 9th chapter and 18th chapter. Manmana, always think of me. Correct? We have to think of something. If we don't think of God, we are going to think of something else other than God. So Krishna says, Manmana, fill your mind with thinking of me. Manmana bhav bhakto, become my devotee. We become devotee of so many persons except God actually. So Krishna is telling, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. See, a lot of people worship the powerful people. It's Prabhupada calls, Shastra calls as idol worship. No, Krishna says, worship my deity form. Mam namaskuru, pay obeisances unto me, pay homage unto me. Just by doing this four simple things. Manmana bhavat bhakto madhyaji ma namaskuru mam eve satyante pratijane priyasime. So Krishna says, you will come back to me once you give up this body. So we have to train this. Bhagavatam also taught Bhagavatam in the 9th canto, in the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj, there also it is mentioned, Savai Manah Krishna Padara Vindayo. How Maharaj Ambarish engaged all his senses. A very good example actually, Bhagavatam. 9th canto, 4th chapter, 18th verse I think. Hopefully I get, I think. Yeah. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo, 9.4.18, 19 and 20. Beautiful verse actually. This Sukadeva Goswami is instructing Parikshit Maharaj in the Bhagavatam about Ambarish Maharaj. How Ambarish engaged all his senses in the service of the Lord. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. His mind was always fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Lotus feet of the Lord also refers to the carrying out the instruction of the Lord. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunan Varnane. And whatever you are speaking, you are speaking about the glories of the Lord. Vaikunta Gunan, describing. Then Karao Are Mandira Marjana. So we got our hand. We can use our hand in cleansing the temple of the Lord. All of you may be having deity, small deity room or puja room. You may have some pictures. So daily we, as a part of our daily sadhana, we should clean that puja room. We should change the flower, all these things. So hand should be used for that. Like that, he used his head for bowing down in front of the Lord. He used his leg to visit the place of pilgrimage or visit temple. So Ambarish Maharaj, he was the ruler. At the same time, he was following all these things. That's why he is one of the exalted devotees actually. So this is how we can fix ourselves thinking of Krishna. And we also know how in the life of Ajamila also, how he was a nice Brahmana, he fell down from his Brahmanical standard, and what all little devotion or bhakti he did in the early days, worshipping the deity, helping his father worshipping the deity. At the end of his life, he called out his name, son's name, Narayana. And we know in a couple of lives, he got liberation actually. So, chanting the holy name of the Lord is very powerful, particularly in Kali Yuga, though it is always powerful in all the Yuga. In Kali Yuga, Kali Kale, Krishna Nama Rupa Avatara. So, just by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, worshipping Krishna, and following Krishna's instructions as given in the Bhagavad Gita, actually we can achieve the perfection of life. So Prabhupada in one place he says, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Krishna only, Krishna incarnation. They are present when we chant offenselessly. So we have to safeguard against these 10 offenses which is given in the Padma Purana, which we chant daily after Mangalarti. So we should take care of those 10 offenses. And Prabhupada has given innumerable instruction how to chant Hare Krishna mantra. A lot of instruction on chanting, particularly if you go to the Veda base, you will get that. Because when we chant, we are coming in contact, coming in touch with the Lord. So if you come in touch with the Lord, just like Kunti Devi and the Pandavas, they are touching the Lord, they are seeing Lord daily. We can also as well see the Lord just by chanting without offense and following this instruction, because we can come in touch with the Lord. And if we come in touch with the Lord, then actually we'll be saved from these material existence. Like in the previous verses also Kunti is saying, if you want to stop the repetitive birth and death, we have to somehow or other think of the Lord, chant Lord's name, glorify Lord. So these are the very nice process, and Kunti Maharani is offering this wonderful prayer, and we'll continue with this prayer. Every Sunday we have this one verse. So it is recommended that we should also read Prabhupada books actually, those who are following ISKCON. You can even start with a small book. Because Prabhupada says, just like we had book marathon, a lot of people, a lot of devotees perform well, distributing book, all these things. So we should also try to read what is there in the book. Prabhupada said, I have written these books not only for selling, but I want all my disciples to read also. That is important. So it's a very nice opportunity, and everything is available now in English language, which all of us are familiar, and that way we can attain the highest goal in the human form of life. So it's a very nice opportunity for all of us. By the mercy of a pure devotee like Prabhupada, somehow we have come in touch. So we should continue our devotional practice, because there will be some inconvenience, some difficulty may be there when you are practicing also. But we should never give it up actually. We should try, and we'll succeed actually. So I'll stop here. If anybody has one question, I'll take anybody. Anybody has one question? Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Premanand.